Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you a little story. There was a young man who worked hard, stayed late, and showed up early. He didn't announce his plans. He didn't post about his progress. He didn't try to prove anything to anyone. Instead, he let his actions speak, and one day, seemingly out of nowhere, he became the person others admired. What's the lesson here? In a world that constantly demands our attention, where we're pressured to showcase every step of our journey, where comparison is just one scroll away, it's easy to get distracted by what others are doing. It's easy to feel like we need to prove ourselves at every turn. But the truth is, the best work happens in silence. We live in a culture that glorifies noise. Everyone wants to be seen, everyone wants to be heard, but focusing on yourself, your growth, your progress, your purpose, isn't about being selfish. It's about being committed. Think about an Olympic athlete. They don't waste time worrying about what their competitors are posting online. They train, they practice, they refine their craft because they know success isn't built in the spotlight. It's built in the quiet hours, in the early mornings, in the sacrifices no one sees. Now, here's the irony. When you focus on yourself, when you stay silent and do the work, you eventually become the person others can't ignore. In a world where everyone is constantly sharing their achievements, opinions, and progress, it's easy to feel like success requires attention. We see people posting their wins on social media, announcing their plans, and showcasing every small step forward. But the truth is, the best work, the kind that leads to long-term success, happens in silence. Think about some of the most successful people in history, the athletes who train in the early mornings, the artists who create without expectation, the entrepreneurs who work relentlessly behind the scenes. They don't spend their time announcing what they're going to do, they just do it. And when the results finally appear, the world takes notice. The problem with seeking constant validation is that it distracts from the real work. When we announce our goals too soon, we get a temporary rush of approval, but that approval can replace the deeper satisfaction that comes from actually achieving something. It feels good to be recognized, but recognition should be a byproduct of excellence, not the goal itself. There is something powerful about keeping your ambitions to yourself. It creates an internal drive that isn't dependent on external praise. When you work in silence, you eliminate the pressure of performing for an audience. You make decisions based on what truly matters, not based on what will gain the most attention. Silence allows you to focus on growth. It removes the distractions that come with comparison and competition. When no one knows what you're working on, you aren't burdened by expectations. You have the freedom to experiment, to fail, to learn, and to improve without the fear of judgment. This doesn't mean you shouldn't share your success at the right time. There will be moments to celebrate, to acknowledge progress, and to inspire others, but those moments should come after the work has been done, not before. Success should speak for itself. Many people fall into the trap of talking more than they execute. They spend time crafting the perfect message about their goals instead of actually taking the steps necessary to achieve them. But talking about progress isn't the same as making progress. It feels productive, but it doesn't move you forward. The best proof of success isn't what you say, it's what you do. When you commit to working quietly, something interesting happens. You start to develop discipline. You stop worrying about how others perceive you and instead focus on real, meaningful progress. You build skills, gain knowledge, and strengthen your character without needing an audience. And then one day, people start noticing. They see the transformation, the results, the impact of your dedication, not because you told them, but because your work speaks louder than words ever could. This is the mindset that separates those who achieve lasting success from those who seek short-term validation. It's not about being secretive. It's about understanding that true growth happens when you aren't distracted by the need for approval. So the next time you feel the urge to announce your plans, pause. Ask yourself, do I want to talk about it, or do I want to be about it? Choose action. Choose discipline. Choose quiet progress. Because in the end, the best work, the kind that truly matters, is done in silence. In today's world, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparison. Social media makes it effortless to see what everyone else is doing, achieving, and celebrating. We scroll through endless updates of promotions, new businesses, fitness transformations, and success stories, and before we know it, we start questioning our own progress. Are we doing enough? Are we falling behind? Should we be moving faster? This mindset can be dangerous because it shifts our focus away from what truly matters, our own journey. When we constantly compare ourselves to others, we start measuring success based on external factors rather than internal growth. We forget that everyone's path is different, that timing varies for each individual, and that the only real competition is the person we were yesterday. Instead of worrying about what others are doing, the most effective approach is to focus entirely on yourself. Success is not about being better than someone else. It's about being better than you were before. It's about making consistent progress, learning and growing at your own pace. The people who achieve great things understand this. They don't waste energy comparing themselves to others because they know that comparison is a distraction, not a motivator. When you commit to focusing on yourself, you gain a sense of clarity. You stop chasing what looks good on the outside and start working on what feels right for you. Your goals become more meaningful because they are based on your values, not on a desire to keep up with someone else's timeline. You set objectives that align with your purpose rather than reacting to what others are doing. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to rush success because they see others moving faster. But success isn't a race, it's a process. The most accomplished people take their time, master their craft, and build strong foundations before seeking recognition. They don't chase trends or try to prove themselves. They simply focus on what they need to do and trust that results will follow. There's also a great sense of freedom that comes with focusing on yourself. When you stop comparing, you stop feeling pressured to meet unrealistic standards. You stop worrying about whether you're ahead or behind. You realize that the only person you need to impress is yourself. This shift in mindset allows you to work harder, stay committed, and develop a deep sense of self-confidence. Because your progress is measured by your own standards, not someone else's. Another important aspect of this mindset is understanding that everyone's journey is unique. Just because someone else is succeeding now doesn't mean you won't succeed later. Just because someone else's progress looks faster doesn't mean it's more sustainable. We often see the highlight reels of others without seeing the struggles behind the scenes. Instead of letting someone else's success discourage you, let it inspire you. Learn from them, appreciate their hard work, but don't let their journey define yours. The only thing that matters is how much you've grown, how much effort you've put in, and how committed you are to your own goals. When you focus on yourself instead of comparing, you gain control over your own narrative. You stop seeking approval and start building something real. So the next time you find yourself looking at someone else's success and feeling like you're behind, remind yourself, your only competition is the person you were yesterday. Stay patient, stay focused, and trust your own journey. Silence is often misunderstood. Many people associate it with weakness, passivity, or a lack of confidence, but in reality, silence is one of the most powerful tools a person can use. It is not about avoiding communication or withholding opinions. It is about being intentional with your words and actions. In a world that rewards loudness and constant self-promotion, knowing when to stay silent and observe is a sign of strength, discipline, and intelligence. One of the greatest advantages of silence is that it allows you to listen. Most people listen to respond, not to understand. They are waiting for their turn to speak rather than truly absorbing what is being said. When you choose to stay silent, you give yourself the opportunity to learn. You begin to notice things others overlook. You hear not just the words, but the emotions behind them. You start to pick up on patterns, behaviors, and insights that people who are always talking tend to miss. Silence also gives you control. When you don't immediately react to situations, you give yourself time to think, reflect, and make better decisions. Many people say things in the heat of the moment that they later regret. But those who practice silence and patience rarely find themselves in those situations. They choose their words carefully. They understand that speaking less, but with more meaning, carries far more impact than talking endlessly without purpose. There's a reason why some of the most successful people in the world are also some of the quietest. They don't feel the need to prove themselves with words because their actions do the talking. They are strategic about when they speak and what they say. They understand that by keeping certain plans and thoughts to themselves, they maintain an advantage. When people don't know what you're thinking, they can't predict your next move. Many of the greatest leaders in history were known for their ability to remain calm and silent in critical moments. They understood that silence creates presence. It makes people pay attention. When a person who rarely speaks finally does, their words carry more weight. People listen more closely because they know that when this person talks, it must be something important. On a personal level, practicing silence helps you develop confidence. It may seem counterintuitive, but those who are truly confident don't feel the need to constantly speak to assert their presence. They are comfortable with stillness. They don't need external validation or approval. Their confidence comes from their knowledge, their preparation, and their ability to remain composed. There is also a great deal of peace that comes with silence. When you stop feeling the need to explain yourself to everyone, to argue, or to constantly engage in meaningless conversations, you conserve energy. You direct that energy towards growth, learning, and productivity. You stop wasting time trying to impress people and instead focus on improving yourself. This is not to say that you should never speak. There are moments when your voice is necessary, when your words can inspire, educate, or make a difference. The key is to know when those moments are. Not everything needs a response. Not every battle is worth fighting. The ability to stay silent in the right moments is just as important as knowing when to speak. Ultimately, silence is a form of discipline. It requires self-control, patience, and confidence. It is a skill that, when mastered, can set you apart. Because while the world is full of noise, those who know how to remain silent and focused will always stand out. Their strength isn't in what they say, it's in what they do.
Confidence is often misunderstood. Many people believe that confidence comes from external validation, the applause, the recognition, the approval of others, but true confidence is something entirely different. It is not found in the opinions of others. It is built through action, consistency, and self-improvement. It does not come from proving yourself to the world. It comes from proving yourself to yourself. One of the biggest mistakes people make is seeking validation before they have done the work. They announce their goals before they have started, hoping that others' approval will motivate them. They share their plans looking for encouragement, thinking that external praise will push them forward. But the problem with this approach is that it makes confidence dependent on others. When validation is removed, motivation disappears. When approval fades, self-doubt creeps in. Real confidence comes from taking action regardless of who is watching. It comes from putting in the effort when no one is there to applaud. It is built through quiet discipline, waking up early to work on your goals, staying consistent when progress is slow, pushing yourself even when no one is paying attention. Confidence is earned in the moments when you choose growth over comfort, effort over excuses, and persistence over giving up. There is a reason why the most successful and confident people are often the ones who talk the least about their plans. They don't feel the need to announce their ambitions because they are too busy working on them. They don't seek validation because they already believe in themselves. Their confidence is not fragile, it is strong because it is built on real effort, real progress, and real achievement. When confidence is built through action, it becomes unshakable. You stop needing people to tell you that you are capable because you already know it. You stop seeking approval because you have already proven to yourself that you are improving. You stop worrying about what others think because their opinions do not define your growth. This shift in mindset is powerful. It frees you from the pressure of constantly trying to impress others. It allows you to focus entirely on your journey without distraction. When you stop worrying about whether people approve of your choices, you gain clarity. You start making decisions based on what is best for you, not on what looks impressive to others. Confidence built on action also brings a deep sense of inner peace. When you rely on external validation, you're always chasing something outside of yourself. You are always looking for the next compliment, the next round of applause, the next moment of recognition. But when your confidence comes from within, you are content. You are secure in who you are and where you are going. This does not mean that recognition is bad. It is natural to appreciate encouragement and support, but the key difference is that confident people do not need it to move forward. They are not dependent on external validation to feel worthy. They do not stop working when the praise stops. They keep going because they are driven by something deeper, their own belief in themselves. Many people spend years waiting for someone else to validate them. They wait for permission, for approval, for recognition. But those who succeed are the ones who stop waiting, they take action, they build skills, they develop discipline, and in doing so, they create a confidence that no one can take away. At the end of the day, confidence is not about how loudly you declare your abilities. It is about how consistently you prove them. It is not about who believes in you. It is about whether you believe in you. And the best way to believe in yourself is to take action every single day until there is no doubt left.
In a world where everyone is constantly talking about their goals, plans, and ambitions, there is something incredibly powerful about staying silent and letting your results speak for themselves. Many people believe that announcing their intentions will make them more accountable or bring them closer to success. However, the truth is that success is not about how much you talk, it's about what you actually do. The most successful individuals understand this principle. They do not waste time explaining their every move. They do not seek validation before taking action. Instead, they focus on the work itself. They commit to growth, stay disciplined, and trust that when the time is right, the results will tell the story. This approach not only leads to real progress, but also builds a level of credibility that words alone can never achieve. One of the biggest problems with talking too much about your goals is that it creates a false sense of accomplishment. When you share your plans with others, you often receive encouragement, praise, or admiration. This feels good in the moment, but it can also trick your brain into believing you have already made progress. The motivation that should be fueling your actions gets replaced by the temporary satisfaction of approval. As a result, many people announce their ambitions, but never follow through with the necessary effort. Silence, on the other hand, keeps you focused. When you do not seek external validation, you rely entirely on your own drive and discipline. You are not working for applause or approval. You are working because you are committed to improvement. You are not distracted by opinions or expectations. You are fully engaged in the process. This kind of focus leads to real, measurable results, not just empty words. There is also a strategic advantage to keeping your progress private. When people do not know what you are working on, they cannot interfere, criticize, or discourage you. They cannot impose their doubts or insecurities onto your journey. Instead of wasting energy defending your choices or explaining your plans, you can direct all of your energy toward making progress. This allows you to move forward with confidence, free from unnecessary distractions. Furthermore, when you let your results speak for themselves, people take you more seriously. Anyone can talk about what they plan to do, but very few actually follow through. When you consistently deliver results without making a big deal about it, you earn genuine respect. People start to recognize your commitment, discipline, and hard work, not because you told them, but because they can see it for themselves. This approach also helps you develop resilience. When you stop seeking validation from others, you become more self-reliant. You learn to trust yourself, to push through obstacles without needing encouragement, and to keep going even when no one is watching. This internal strength is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. It is important to remember that success is not a performance. It is not about convincing others that you are capable. It is about proving it through action. The people who achieve great things are the ones who stay consistent, put in the effort, and remain patient. They understand that recognition is a byproduct of excellence, not the goal itself. So the next time you feel the urge to announce your plans, take a step back. Ask yourself, do I want to talk about success or do I want to create it? Choose action over words. Choose progress over performance. Choose to let your results speak for themselves, because in the end, actions will always be louder than words. In today's fast-paced world, distractions are everywhere. Social media, endless comparisons, and outside noise constantly pull us in different directions, making it difficult to stay focused on personal growth. Many people get caught up in trends, seeking approval, and worrying about what others are doing, but the truth is, real success comes from tuning out the noise and committing to your own journey. The most successful individuals understand that focusing on growth, rather than external validation or distractions, is the key to achieving meaningful progress. One of the biggest obstacles to personal growth is the tendency to seek external validation. People often measure their progress based on how much recognition they receive rather than the actual improvement they are making. They announce their goals, hoping for encouragement. They compare themselves to others, feeling either ahead or behind based on someone else's timeline. However, when your motivation is rooted in external approval, it becomes unstable. If the applause stops, so does the drive to improve. That's why focusing on real growth rather than attention or validation is so important. Growth is not about how many people notice your progress. It's about how much you are actually improving. It's about becoming stronger, smarter, and more skilled, even when no one is watching. It's about committing to the process, trusting that your efforts will pay off, and understanding that the best results take time. Many people give up because they don't see instant results or because they don't receive immediate recognition. But those who truly succeed are the ones who keep going, even in silence. Another reason to focus on growth rather than noise is that distractions can easily derail progress. The more attention you give to what others are doing, the less time you have to work on yourself. Every moment spent worrying about someone else's success is a moment lost that could have been invested in your own journey. The truth is, comparison is a waste of energy. The only person you should be competing with is the person you were yesterday. When you commit to personal growth, you stop letting outside opinions control you. You no longer feel the need to justify your progress, explain your choices, or prove yourself to anyone. Instead, you set your own standards and measure your success based on your own improvement. This shift in mindset is incredibly powerful because it frees you from unnecessary stress and allows you to focus entirely on becoming better. There is also a practical advantage to focusing on growth over noise. When you ignore distractions and commit to self-improvement, you naturally build discipline and consistency. The more you practice a skill, the better you become. The more you push yourself, the stronger you get. Over time, this effort compounds, leading to significant results. And when those results start to show, people will take notice. Not because you told them to, but because your growth will be undeniable. Success is not about making noise, it's about making progress. The world does not reward those who talk the most, it rewards those who take action. Instead of chasing attention, focus on building something real. Instead of seeking approval, seek mastery. Instead of worrying about who is watching, concentrate on getting better every single day. The most valuable things in life, skills, knowledge, wisdom, and strength, are not developed overnight. They require patience, persistence, and a willingness to work in silence. The journey is long, and there will be times when it feels like no one notices your efforts. But if you stay consistent, stay disciplined, and stay focused on your own path, the results will come, and when they do, they will speak for themselves.